Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you guys the full process from removal to full set for GelX. So this is what we're working with. It's been about 4 weeks maybe, I think, since we did this set. So I'm just going to cut them down and we're doing a new set. The reason I'm not filling them in is because they're just so grown out. It would take a lot more product to fill them in than it would to just do a brand new set. So I'm just clipping them down with my straight edge clippers. Just make sure that you're clipping down to where the top of the natural nail is. You don't want to cut the natural nail because sometimes it can cut it down into the quick and that could hurt really bad. So I'm taking my 5-in-1 coarse bit, and this is what I'm using to file off most of the product. I do not file everything off. Unless there is lifting, then we'll file, but she really didn't have a lot of lifting. Everything was still pretty much on there. But I'm just filing down until there's like a thin layer of gel still on her nails, because when you're doing a brand new GelX set, you don't have to remove everything, especially if the product is still holding on really, really well to their nail, because product sticks to product. So once you put the new product over it, it'll be seamless and you won't be able to tell that there's really even anything on their nails. So yeah, just make sure that you're filing it down super thin. Be sure to keep constant movement whenever you are filing off product, because you are using a higher speed. I believe I use anywhere from probably 20 to 25,000 RPMs when I'm removing product, and also gel files down pretty smoothly and quickly. So just make sure that you are removing any type of lifting, and just make sure that you're not staying in the same spot is what I was trying to say, because it will burn and you'll have some heat spikes on their nails. That first nail I showed you in real time, and I'm just kind of speeding it up so that we can get through it. But yeah, just make sure that you're removing most of the product, and you can leave some on there. It's okay to do that. And now I'm just going in and clipping her natural nails, because she doesn't really care about having her natural nails grow long since we just put on a set. But if you have a client that's wanting to grow out their natural nails, then you would just leave them and just kind of shape them up a little bit. But with her, she doesn't care. She likes them to be short and doesn't really like to see her nail underneath the nail, if that makes sense, like the grow out. So yeah, I'm just rounding them out. And now I'm taking my medium grit sanding band, and we are going to prep the nail and remove all the shine. The good thing about taking off the product and kind of like leaving some of it is you don't necessarily have to file over the product. If you do, it's no big deal, but you really just have to worry about prepping the natural nail and making sure that all the shine and the oils and everything is removed from there. And just really the reason that I go over any of the product is just to smooth it out so that there's a little more of a seamless look, like there really isn't anything on her nails. So I just make sure that everything is blended and there's no like harsh edges or lumps and bumps with the product that's left on her natural nail. So yeah, just make sure you're using about like 4 to 6 RPMs whenever you're doing the sanding band work. And just make sure that all the shine and everything is removed, and make sure that now I'm going in with my cuticle bit and just removing any dead skin that's around the cuticle, just to make sure that we have a better application, because prep is the most important thing when it comes to any type of nail enhancement. Doesn't matter if it's acrylic, GelX, hard gel. You want to make sure that all of this is done properly and that you're taking your time, because this is something that you really want to get right. Now I'm just taking my 90% alcohol on a manicure brush and just dehydrating her nail beds with that. And now I'm taking my cuticle nippers and I'm just taking off some of the dead skin that's lifted up around her cuticles. Now this really is a lot of people say that this is completely and super necessary. If you're not comfortable with doing this yet, please just make sure that you're pushing the cuticles back. But if they do have some hangnails, you can clip those. But I've just been doing it for so long that I like to go in and clean up the cuticle and just make sure that there's no dead skin lifting. But you can use cuticle nippers, cuticle scissors. You can even, if you're doing like a manicure and stuff, you can use cuticle softener, and it makes it a little easier for it to come off, so you don't have to clip as much. But yeah, I just take and go in and make sure that I'm getting all the edges and everything. This is definitely one of the most satisfying parts. I love doing this because it just makes the nails look so good and so clean. And you also get a little more length out of their nail beds. So these are the tips that I'm using. They're from Amazon. I do have them in my Amazon storefront. They're just a square and they're already pre-prepped. The inside is basically already, the shine is already removed and they're a little rough. So now I'm just taking a base coat and going over her natural nails with this and letting that cure for about 60 seconds. And of course, my Gelish Foundation is what I use to adhere my GelX tips. And it is amazing. I love it. The consistency is just beautiful. And it really does last a long time whenever I do this. So just remember, again, make sure you're taking the nail in and out of the light just to prevent any type of heat spikes. But I paint the inside of the nail and then I go in with my little blob of gel at the bottom and just kind of spread it out a little bit and take it and apply it to the nail at the base and push it forward until it meets the free edge of the nail. Now, sometimes it does go over, and it does happen to me quite a bit because sometimes I end up using a little bit too much gel, and you can just go in and kind of like wipe it out. And it's okay if there is gel there, honestly. Like, you can go in and paint the whole tip if you want to, but I'm cutting these down pretty short, so it won't really matter. And yeah, doing that and repeating it, spreading out the little blob of gel, placing it at the cuticle, and pushing and pulling it forward. You want to do this pretty slow. Just make sure that you're not just putting it on there like you would a press-on. Just make sure that you are starting at the cuticle and pulling the product forward. Just like this. At the bottom, pull to the front. And go in and out of the light to prevent any type of crazy heat spikes because it does hurt, okay? It does hurt. And now I'm just going and cutting them down because she wants them to be pretty short. Shorter than how they were when they were grown out. So just a cute little nice short square set. And I'm just taking my 100 grit file and filing them. I actually need to get some files that are not as coarse because these I love to use for acrylic, but I'll probably end up getting like a 150 grit maybe for GelX because I really don't need one that's this coarse. It just doesn't need to be that coarse for GelX because it files so much easier than acrylic does. So yeah, I'm just getting her shape back and making it like a little sharp, crisp square. Now I'm taking another 5-in-1 coarse bit that I have. This is a different one that I use to take the nails down. This is an older one I have, so honestly it's not that coarse anymore. And you can use fine or medium grit as well because I'm just going in and making the cuticle area seamless and just making sure there's no edges sticking up. You just want to blend it into the natural nail. Just make sure that you're not filing the natural nail, okay? Just make sure that you are getting just right on the edge so that you don't see where the natural nail and the tip meet. Like it just looks like one smooth finish, like all the way down, so you can't really see a difference. When I apply my GelX tips, I always leave a very small gap between the nail tip and the natural nail just so that I have room to go in and file, because you won't be able to see the gap once you do this. And then after I apply base coat too, because I go in and apply like a gel base coat before doing anything. But just make sure you're taking your time with this and that you're constantly moving and not staying in one spot, because this can cause burns as well, just because you are using a metal bit to go around and do this. So just make sure that you're not using a super high speed, definitely above what you would use to prep the nail with the sanding band, but not as high as removing product. Okay, so somewhere in the middle of there is the speed that you should be using. And yeah, this step, please don't skip this step. This is so important, and it really does make your GelX look amazing. It's something that I do on every single client, even if the tips look pretty good. It just makes for polishing so much better too. And now I'm just going in with a buffer and removing the shine. Make sure you're doing this too, because the gel polish is gonna just pop right off if you don't. Like, it'll start peeling away if you don't make the surface of the nail have a little bit of texture and just remove all that shininess. I see some people use sanding bands and stuff, but honestly, this is so much quicker than getting out an e-file and filing over the whole entire nail. Just use a buffer, and you can go in and kind of make sure that the corners are a little smooth too, so they're not so sharp, which is what I do for her. But yeah, this is a lot easier than going in and filing. And now I'm just dusting away all the dust, and I'm taking my manicure brush and just making sure that all the dust is gone. And now time for the magic. This is acetone on a brush, okay? And we are going to go in and scrub around the cuticle area. So what this does, I don't know if some of you have seen this or not, but the acetone pretty much melts the edge of the GelX into the natural nail a lot further than it does whenever you use the 5-in-1 bit. So any little pieces that you have sticking up, it basically just dissolves it and melts it down. A lot of people worry if this causes lifting. It doesn't. I've been doing it since I well, actually not since I started. I just started doing this maybe like a month ago, and I have not had any issues with it. Honestly, it makes application and everything so much better, and it looks amazing. So I haven't had any issues with it. It hasn't caused lifting. Now I'm just going in with my gel base coat, and I'm going to be curing that. But you see, like, you cannot tell where it starts and where it ends. Like, this application is beautiful. And now I'm taking my creation. These are the French line. I'm using P06 as the base color, and it's like a pink blush color. It's so pretty. She wanted like a pinky nude for this, so I thought this would be perfect. But I'm taking the P06 on the bottom, and then I'm taking the other one, which is P03, and it's a more P02, sorry. It's a much lighter sheer shade, but I'm going with that on top just to give it that nude, almost cover acrylic kind of look, just so that it's not super sheer, but it still has that like jelly look. And now I'm taking my striper brush with white gel polish, and we're just creating this super easy design. She just wanted like little lines around on the nail, just to give it kind of like a little abstract look. It ended up coming out super cute, and this is definitely something anybody can do, because the lines don't have to be perfect. They do not have to be perfect at all. Just a little bit of movement and a little squiggle to them, and honestly, it looks so cute, and it's effortless. Okay, just I go in and make sure that the lines are a little thicker, so I kind of go in with them with the white a second time, just to give them a little more thickness, because she didn't want the lines to be thin. She wanted them to be a little more bold. So that's what I'm doing. But yeah, this design is so easy, y'all, and it looks so cute, and kind of like just a cute classy look. So that's what we did. And also I'm gonna show you guys what happened, because she kind of like hit her nail in the light or something on her hand. So I'm just going in and buffing off the part that was smeared. So instead of you thinking that you have to go in and take off the whole thing, just lightly buff until that top layer of the white is gone. And now I'm just taking my striper brush and filling in the part that got messed up, and I'm just curing that. And now we're going in with top coat. You see, it looks like nothing ever happened. This is iGel Beauty non-wipe top coat, and I'm just putting that on and putting it in the light for 60 seconds. And I'm finished filing to make sure that the edges are back sharp and there's no bulky edges from the gel polish or the gel top coat. And now I'm just going to wipe everything off, make sure she's dust free. And now we're going in with some cuticle oil just to make sure that her nail beds are hydrated and she looks nice and pretty before she leaves. This is my cousin, you guys, so we pretty much took our time and had a whole day of this, but they came out so cute. She loved them. She's usually does long nails, but she's been rocking the short ones lately, and I think they look really, really good. But anyway, I thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, I post every Sunday at 3 o'clock, so I will see you guys next week. Let me know if you want to see anything else.